We had really wanted to do some type of mass timber building for a while, and so when we acquired American Brush, the lot on the corner came with the purchase and provided us the perfect opportunity to experiment and try out using mass timber in vertical construction in the modern age.
It's essentially the same building, one that built in 1907, and then 100 years later you're trying to duplicate the same building with modern technology. But essentially, if you look at the structure of both of the buildings, I mean, you can still see the same beam and post.
We used the tried and true method of glue-lam, post and beam, and card decking to construct the building, and the result of that was this beautiful warehouse, authentic material look. So Avi, my business partner, and his team worked with the architects to come up with a scheme for wrapping that post and beam structure with glass curtain wall, which is quite unusual for a building this size and for an industrial building, but it really provides the viewer with a picture of the internals of the building. So you can actually see the beams from the outside the building. You can see the steel that's holding the structure together. It creates for a beautiful experience outside looking in, and even more dramatic inside looking out, where you're standing at the edge of your floor space.
Concrete is great. I mean, we do have buildings that are made out of concrete. Personally, I just love the combinations of brick and heavy timber. I think it's just outstanding combination, just beautiful.
Both these buildings were pretty early in the redevelopment of the Industrial East Side, so I think they help stimulate additional development, help stimulate confidence in the activity here. One thing that attracted us to these buildings was the location. A lot of the employment for the industry that is here, creative services, high tech, a lot of those employees live on the east side. Portland's growing fast. Getting across the bridge gets more and more difficult every day. If your employees can come in and work right here in the Central East Side, it saves them a lot of time. Staff is happy in this building. They like the authentic materials. They like all the light and air that is exposed to them. So really good staying power.
Heavy timber been used in industrial warehouses ever since the beginning of the century, even in the end of the last century. So if you walk around in a Central East Side or practically anywhere you have a big old warehouse, essentially built from heavy timber. It's like a bunch of old columns and big posts. The code allowed the 2x4s or stick framing building to be construct, but then it has to be fireproof with some kind of sheetrocks or whatever assembly of fireproofing. Once you get into a 6x6 size of lumber, then the code allowed you to have it exposed. Over the years, it's been proved that it's been sustainable, including in big old warehouses when you had fires. Sometimes you open the ceiling and you can still see some of the wood is being burned, but it creates like protections to the core of the wood. UDP like this size of floor plans. We have about 5,000 square feet per floor. And it's just kind of a niche niche for an entry-level company. And if they have too much space, sometimes they might sublease it. Also, if they need more space, at times if we have availability, they will take another floor. So we just believe that, like you come out of the elevator and you walk right into your space, nobody bother you, don't have to share it with anyone. I think it's just very easy to fall in love with either one of them. If you like a creative space, built out of beautiful bricks and wood, then they're definitely going to love this space, or next door because there'll be lots of light. Here we have just about anything that they have in the west side, but in just more like civil way. There's not as much traffic. I mean, we do have some traffic, but not as much traffic. We start to have lots of more restaurants, and it's just the future. Just the future.